Hey everybody, it's me again. Uh, I wanted to talk to you about The Predator from 1987. So this is gonna be a spoiler review. So for the people who are watching and don't want to never seen this movie, first of all, where have you been? And second of all, um, I can already say it's a really good movie. It's a sci-fi horror movie with even a little bit of a slasher element into it because the killer kills people one by one. Okay, so this is one that has a lot of, I'll say, it's directed by John McTiernan, who made Die Hard and The Last Action Hero. He then Arnold Schwarzenegger, Major Dutch, Carl Weathers from Rocky, you know, as playing as Dylan, CIA agent. We've got Bill Duke playing Mac, Jesse Ventura playing Blaine, yeah. Then Sonny Landham playing Billy, and Richard Chavez as Pancho, and Shane Black as Hawkins. These are all the people involved in this movie. So you've got a lot of known action hero movie, like Bill Duke. I think he played in Commando as a Green Beret. Carl Weathers, of course, is Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies. Jesse Ventura was a WWE wrestler. I'm not sure. He is now the governor, or was the governor of Minnesota. Sonny Landham was one crazy mofo. he okay, so yeah, so first of all, this is gonna be, like I said, a spoiler review. So get the hell out, and if you want to see the review, come back and give it a thumbs up and enjoy the review. So Sonny Landham was crazy. Apparently, he played Billy, and he apparently this guy was so dangerous that they hired a bodyguard, not to protect him but protect the actors. Now you would think you got Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, Bill Duke, Jesse Ventura. This guy was apparently a real, aggravated assault and things like that on his record, and he apparently knew how to fight a brawler basically, and they had hired a bodyguard to basically keep him in line. Now the funny thing is, so a special unit is called up by Dylan, the CIA agent, Carl Weathers, and he said he knows Dutch has one of the best special forces units that there is, but they are a rescue crew, not a assassin crew. But they're saying, yeah, they shot one of our birds down, and they're having hostages, and it's the gorillas, the gorillas in the jungle who have, our hostages, and you got to get them out of there. And they go to the jungle area. Dylan wants to come with them. Now, funny thing is that at one point they they see when they're at the camp, because before they arrive at the camp they find footprints of American soldiers, Green Berets from Fort Bragg. Also a captain that I'm not sure what his name was. That's what Dutch knew, And he said, what was he doing here? And Carl Weathers goes like, I don't know, but he knows. But they find them. There were 6 guys, 2 are missing, 4 they find skinned alive. It's pretty gross shot. It's pretty cool. You got that great soundtrack that goes like drums, like, and then they see the bodies, and he goes like, Sonny goes, Billy goes like, and the cool thing with Billy is he's like the tracker. Everybody has this thing. Billy is the tracker. Blaine is the strong guy. He has this minigun pack on his back. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's so oiled up in this movie. He's always doing like this. Then holding a gun like this. Like this, and then like an AR-15, but like holding it just like this, not like this. It's just showing off his muscles all the way. But he should, because this is the most testosterone fueled movie I ever seen. Carl Weathers, muscular guy, me from, of course, Apollo Creed. Bill Duke, manly man. He's like, he doesn't like Dylan, because at some point he slips and falls, and once he gets back up, but Blaine is at his face, and he says, if you do, you're ghosting us, motherfucker. If I catch you one time, if I catch you one time giving up our position, I kill you and bleed you slow and leave you to die. Got that? So something like that. Really cool, really mean. So it's like, now, eventually they get to the camp of the guerrillas, and they see one of the hostages being, tormented and fucked up and shot down. It's a pretty cool shot. He's a cruel way of killing someone, just kicking him and then taking the hair and then go, Madre de Dios, like, and then puto pendejo, and like this, and then it goes for like. But the funny thing is, actually, there were like 4 hostages. Then, okay, let's just do what we do best. Let's just destroy the entire camp. So they start destroying the entire camp, and Blaine takes out his minigun. Dutch takes out a car that's on a block, and he puts like explosives in it. I think C4. He explodes all these buildings. But basically, okay, they're shooting all over the place, but there can still be hostages, right? they actually are just destroying everything, and maybe even the hostages. Now, luckily, they were already dead to begin with, but they didn't know that. So they were just going in there and shooting up the place and blowing up buildings and things like that. So that was actually a little bit of a not so professional move, okay? Then you've got that awesome line from Blaine when he gets hit, because the minigun takes time to first throw, and then the bullets go out. So you got some guys with AK-47 shooting, and gets a hit here, and then Pancho says, "You're bleeding, man." "I got no time to bleed. I ain't got no time to bleed." "Okay, you got time to duck?" And then he's firing like a grenade launcher several times in this crow's nest where there are a few gorillas in, and it's just great. It's just great. Out in sunshine in the middle of the camp, just and everybody, and then he throws a knife at the guy who, I think at the guy who shot the last hostage, basically. And basically he throws a knife in his chest. Now what happens is at some point they get the bed, so everybody's gone. The gorillas are dead or are running away. Now they, before they enter the camp, they find a helicopter that was shot down. Now that they say that wasn't a military bird, more of a surveillance bird, like CIA, for example. So he says, Dylan, you know something about this? Oh, they never should have been here in the first place, he says. And then he said, heat seekers, Dylan. And he said, they're getting like just mountain gorillas using heat seeker missiles. That's too technological for them to use. And he says, I think they're getting better equipped every day. So he's lying out of his ass. Then when everything is said and done, he's there collecting papers and things like that and information. And basically Dutch knows, so he gets the information from Mac that the other hostages are dead. And he said, if these guys were like American soldiers, my ass. One of them was a Russian advisor, and the other ones were CIA. So he knows Dylan set them up, basically used them as a assassin force, and he picks Dylan up and says, "How could you use us like that?" And he said, "You are all expendables. We did the right thing. We needed you, and you did it and did the job, what you needed to. We're all expendable," he said. Okay, and he says, "My men are not expendable." Then he gets the line like, "Billy, take me out of this hole." Like he says later, "Get to the chopper." That's one of the lines that everybody knows when he's calling, he's using his accent. Now, of course, they know that there is something else. Okay, so when they go to the jungle, because the gorillas are regrouping and a new group is coming their way, and the pickup zone is too hot, they have to go to another place, and the shortest way is through this really rough terrain, but it's the only way to get out. So they have to go there, and then you have, like Max to Dylan. "Dylan, come here." Okay, he says, "Turn around," and then he takes a knife and he immediately takes his MP5, and he says, he had a scorpion on his blade. "Thanks," he said. "Anytime." Takes it out, squirts it with his foot. And he finds a prisoner. Dutch finds her, called Anna. She is one of the gorillas, but Dylan wants to take her, but Dutch says, "She's your responsibility. We are not going to be responsible." But he wants to take her for information. So then you kind of get introduced to the predator. So you already got something from before that something is seeing them with heat-seeking sort of vision, and it goes to the scorpion, takes the scorpion in his hand when they're all gone, and he's saying, anytime. He can record the voice of the soldiers. Now the cool part is that you know, when they get killed all one by one. So the first one who gets killed is Shane Black. He goes after Anna because she tries to run. He gets to Anna, but the predator comes out of, out of the, like, out of the trees, because he can cloak himself, and he has these razor blade claws coming out of his hands, and just takes Shane with him. Takes Hawkins, sorry, he's called Hawkins, with him in the woods, and she's covered in blood, and they get to her and they say, "Where the fuck is Hawkins?" Then Dutch says she's terrified. She could have run, could have taken the weapon, but she's terrified. And yeah, okay, of course she wants to. She does that shit again. She wants to stay with the soldiers for now because she saw what came out of the jungle and took him. And then, of course, then Dutch says, spread out 50 meters across. And then Blaine gets it, basically. He sees a marmot coming out of a tree, and then he laughs. Then you see, he gets like blood on his face, and then the next one, you see this giant lightning ball coming at him through the chest, like a hole this big in his chest, and he falls down. And then you've got one of the coolest scenes in the movie, in my opinion. Mac comes, he's befriended with Blaine. Mac comes to the place where Blaine was hit. He sees the predator's eyes glowing up, and he's yelling, "Contact!" And he takes the fucking minigun, and then everybody comes together, and they all start to shoot the AR-15s, MP5s, grenade launchers, the minigun. They're destroying the entire area, so everything at least at a few 100 meters couldn't survive that shit. So they destroy basically a small piece of jungle, and in that time the predator got hit, but not hit in the leg, just hit in the leg, and could get away because he uses the trees to get away. So, but the way he says that is, "Contact!" It's just so cool. So cool. And the ironic thing is, Mac dies with Dylan. So they see the predator, and Mac goes. They want to trap him, but it doesn't work. Poncho gets hurt. Mac is he's going after the predator, but Dutch is he's the major, but he's saying, "Mac, Sergeant Mac." He's completely going foobar, and Dylan is going after Mac, and Dutch said, "Why? I gotta make up for some things." And he goes after him, and then you've got this cool scene too. So there are a lot of cool scenes in Mac. So the predator sees them. It doesn't matter how they see their heat, the heat seeking. They see their body temperature. So Mac gets basically a laser blast through his head. His skull is completely open, and then Dylan gets a blast in his shoulders. His arm, you see his arm falling off, and he got two MP5s in his hands, and it's like the arm is like still shooting salvos, and he's shooting like with the last hand, then gets the blade in his chest, and goes, "Oh!" You hear him screaming like so loud, and so in a real scream, like in pain, like really, it was so convincing. Then Billy, being a warrior, an Indian heritage warrior, throws away his AR-15. He has an AR-15 with a shotgun on it, which is pretty cool. And because most of their AR-15s have like grenade launchers on it, but he has a shotgun on it. He throws away his gun, his fist. He takes his machete. He rips off his fist. He's naked, and he opens himself up like this, like a warrior, what would an Indian warrior would do for some reason. And he's standing there, and the predator is coming, and you hear in the distance Billy going, ah! And of course later on we see Billy's bloody face, and he rips out Billy's spine and skull and just throws him from the trees. Now apparently these are trophies, so he kills people. The predator is basically a hunter who hunts people for trophies. Now we even know that they didn't only hunt on the planet Earth, they hunted planet Earth from since the early days when they're even before the Englishmen like were in America. Even that there were only like Indians, but like the Mayas and things like that. And they were already there back then, and they like to collect things from the person who wants to kill him. He doesn't kill people that doesn't have a weapon. He does. The predator has a sort of has a sort of honor to himself, that he doesn't kill people without a weapon. That's not sport, that's too easy. So he only kills, and he honored Billy. Some of them he didn't honor and just didn't take with him, but he honored Billy for the fact that he wanted to go toe to toe with him, and with his claws, and then with his machete. But of course the predator is too strong and kills Billy. Now at some point Anna, Dutch, and Pancho are left, and the predator attacks Pancho with a lightning bolt in his face. He's dead. Then Anna wants to pick up the gun, and that's how we know that he only kills people without weapons. He kicks the weapon out of Anna's hand. No! Fires a few salvos at the tree, and the predator, shoots a lightning bolt but destroys the gun, the AR-15, and Dutch falls, and he's basically trying to gun, and he says, run to the chopper, and he just she's going away. She sort of, I never understand that she knew the pickup point, so she knows, I'm guessing she knows the jungle, and she knew the pickup point because she knows the jungle area. I'm guessing that's it, because how the fuck are you getting out of that? It was dense jungle with waterfalls and shit, because he slides down and he falls in a waterfall. He climbs out, he's under mud. The predator also follows him, falls in water, but for some reason, if water touches him, he can't be cloaked. His cloaking device gets out, so you see for the first time the full predator, which is a really cool thing. He has these braids and a mask, and he's got the laser cannon where he killed Blaine with, and so forth. But Dutch is completely under mud. He positions himself in a tree like this, so it's like he's embedded in the tree, and he doesn't see him, and then he knows that the mud is the thing, so he knows how to kill him. Okay, so of course he knows that he's not gonna get to the chopper alive, so he has to kill the predator. So what he does is he has a few like he had an AR-15 with a grenade launcher. He has two of these bullets that are grenade bullets that are put in the AR-15, the grenade launcher. He, you know, puts it in leaves and makes a spear out of it, so he can, you know, throw the spear and it explodes at impact. He makes a bow. He makes several traps, and he eventually yells really loud, which is a pretty cool shot. Him covered in mud with a torch, whoa, so hard as he can. And the predator's like, psh, making his blades warm so he's ready to kill. And he goes to the side where the place where Dutch is. He doesn't see him. Dutch throws the spear with the explosives in, and it's wounded, and he starts to shoot everywhere with his laser cannon, and Dutch eventually, you know, crawls away, and then he has another spear, and he sees the blood dripping, the green, it has green blood dripping because Anna tells a story at some point. She said when the man shot, he got, so Mac, she means Mac, he got shot and bleed green, and he said if it bleeds we can kill it. That was all those fucking lines in this movie. It's so fucking great. And like I said, horror, you got some gore. Mac basically has this size hole in his fucking face. No, Blaine. Blaine's head is being fucking blasted open. Then Dylan's arm gets blasted off, and you see him arm on the ground, still shooting the MP5. I mean, these are all gory, gnarly kills. The predator is vicious, man, vicious. And eventually, you know, they get toe to toe because Dutch doesn't have anything anymore, and he goes like, he takes off the laser cannon, he takes off the mask, and then you see his real face, and he says, "One ugly motherfucker," and then he starts to fight, but you know he knows how to fight, but he hits him a few times, kicks him a few times, but it's like he goes on. So he's getting hit, getting fucked up, getting predator handled, and eventually he crawls in a place where he knows he has two traps. One that the predator sees and goes around, and one that he didn't see. It's a log that's above him and falls on him, and he's squished, but he's still alive, enough alive to, because at some point Arnold Schwarzenegger in Dutch says, "What are you?" and he replies with, "What are you?" And then he opens because he's surprised that he killed him and that he could fight this hard, and you know that he honored him almost, but he puts on the sort of a self-destruction mode. It has these little dots, and doop 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 doop, and louder it goes. Down he goes, sort of, you know, explosion, like almost like a small nuke, no mushroom cloud. And he's starting to laugh like Billy laughs. He also mimicked Billy's laugh. Billy laughs like, and then he starts to do the same. It's pretty creepy and intense, and you got Dutch running away just in time. The chopper gets to him. Anna is still alive. Anna has been picked up. and you know you've got a great, great, beautiful military kind of song that that they go off in the distance. Now I have to say, so now a few fun facts, because you probably heard this review by a lot of reviewers. Apparently, John McTiernan had jail time because he lied to the FBI for something. He did 10 months jail. He, I'm not sure if he's directing again. I'm not sure after that jail time. Because he did a lot of movies, good movies. Die Hard, you know. Last Action Hero is okay. I didn't like that movie so much, but it has a cult following. He did a lot of good movies, action movies mostly. Then another thing is that Arnold Schwarzenegger was so cruel to the people in his team, like Carl Weathers, you know, Bill Duke, Jesse Ventura, that every day they had to train under his regime. So he knew how to bodybuild, and you know, it was always like going, no more, no, 2 reps more. You sissy, 2 reps more. You sissy, come on. And then apparently Carl Weathers said, I didn't do that. I just read the paper and drank my coffee. And when I saw these guys sweating like a pig. So that was apparently his leadership that came out, you know, and I see Schwarzenegger doing that because he became governor and shit like that. He knows how to lead, and you know, so I'm checking the mic. Now, the Predator is played by Kevin Peter Hall, who was in Harry and the Hendersons. He plays Harry. He's also in Predator 2. Another movie. I'm thinking. There was one more, but I can't remember. But he did some things after that. Before this movie. Now, originally, the Predator was a mantis-like creature. So, see a mantis, but human size. Really stupid. Oh, he played, sorry. So, Kevin Peter Hall played in Alien Encounter. Oh, damn it. It's a movie from the 80s, which is basically a prelude to this movie. John McTiernan took a lot of that movie. It has a lot of things going like the Predator has. But it starts with Alien, and then I think Encounter, or yeah, something like that, or Attack. It's basically sort of the same story, but like I said, John McTiernan took a lot of that movie with him, and of course Kevin Peter Hall played the alien in that movie, so he already knew how to move and things like that. But their original choice was none other than Jean-Claude Van Damme, who he played the Predator. Now there are rumors like he was like, oh no, this movie was from 87, but Jean-Claude Van Damme was still getting in his roots. He wasn't that popular yet. He's more of a 90s guy. In the 90s he raised, but in the 80s he's still treading water, and apparently he was, so he complained that they didn't show his face and this and that, but I don't believe that. What I do believe is that he apparently got sick and dehydrated, and he couldn't breathe in the mask because of the extreme heat in the jungle. But they were in the jungle, it wasn't a set, and he couldn't move as well, and that's why they said, okay, sorry, Mr. Van Damme, going with somebody else. Then they took Kevin Peter Hall because he already played an alien, so he knows how to sort of move like an alien, and that's how it became the Predator history. So he also played in Predator 2, the Predator. So he's one of the more preferred Predators actors actor. So we could have had a Jean-Claude Van Damme Predator. That would be kick-ass, showing his skills, but he couldn't even just get his feet up, let alone just stand, because he was sick and he got dehydrated, everything, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. Sorry. Now Blaine became the governor of Minnesota after that, which is okay, cool. He became governor. You wouldn't expect that from a guy who's like WWE, but then again, Schwarzenegger became governor of California, so you know. And Shane Black, okay, he directed the awful the Predator movie, the from which I think is the last movie that came out. Oh, with Boyd Holbrook. Jesus fucking Christ! What a mess was that! What a mess was that! I think he directed half of it, and the other part was directed. I think there was the movie bombed like crazy, and it just was a mess. And the second part was more of a mess because people started to interfere. I think another director even came in. So Shane Black had I believe he has a history of writing good movies, especially writing good movies. So yeah, they just, I think they intervened too much. They wanted a good movie, and but after that movie, did we have a new Predator movie? Oh, I'm a big fan of Predator. I should know that, but yeah, oh yeah, we got the Predator movie with the Mayans, and you see she gets the gun, the same gun that Danny Glover gets in the second part. The alien elder throws it to him and says, "Here, take it." And he has the gun and he says the date, and was like 16 and something. Yeah, it's like hundreds of years ago. So they were already on the planet. You also see at that moment. Well, I actually have to review that one. That comes later, but I can already spoil. You see an alien skull. So hence the Alien versus Predator movies. They also killed xenomorphs. Now apparently they Schwarzenegger, when he at the end covered himself, apparently the night times there were freezing cold, and he was like shaking all the time, and he put this, it was powdery clay basically he put on his body, not just dirt, powdery clay, and the powdery clay dried up, which made it more cold, and it was freezing like this, and he started drinking schnapps and tea with Jaeger tea with schnapps, and to get, but I think he got drunk as a skunk, so he couldn't do it. I mean, it was awful. It was awful. But they warned him before, so Arnold, being the guy who just doesn't quit, did it and did a good job. So, but apparently those nights were freezing cold, and he drank the Jaeger tea and with schnapps, and then it was powdery clay, not just clay from the ground. Now, another fun fact that I wanted to say is that the Predator, the head of the Predator, not without the mask, was actually created by James Cameron. Was on a plane with John McTiernan, or one of the producers, I think John McTiernan, and he said, "I have no idea what to make a predator. We have now a giant mantis, and he said, I'm gonna sketch something up. He made those dreadlocks, he made those teeth that go open, but he based it on a woman's vagina. Really, because if you see the jaw opening, you can see like this inside. So he based it on a woman's vagina when he opens his mouth, his jaws, his mouth, you know, which is a funny fact. A funny fact. No, this movie is pretty good. It's in my opinion, if I have to say favorite sci-fi horror movie, then it's a hard pick between this one and Aliens, the second Alien. I'm gonna review Aliens later on, but it's a hard pick. It's like this, you know, because Aliens has a lot of cool stuff, but the Predator has a lot of cool stuff. The Predator is more horror than Aliens. Aliens is more, you know, action-packed, but there's also a horror element in it. Alien, which I already reviewed, is more horror themed. It's more a one by one killing, you know. It's more like a slasher element in there. People even are tending to say that Alien is a slasher movie, like the Terminator is a slasher movie, because that's pretty much, in my opinion, given the stretch. I can. There are elements, yeah, but then again, you know, he kills a lot of people. A slasher goes for one at a time, you know, in my opinion, not like 5, 6, 10 fucking people or 20. I mean, in the Terminator, he goes in a police station and kills like 30 cops. So, it's hard to believe that, but okay. I'll review that movie as a slasher movie because a lot of people say that it's a slasher movie, and I don't believe that, but it's a good movie to review. But I'm only going to do the first one. The second one's definitely not a slasher movie. Definitely not a slasher movie. No. This movie, I mean, it's just great. It gets this tension, atmosphere. It's got all of it. Testosterone just flowing out of it. You've got all the action heroes from the 80s, just muscular dudes, and not tiny dudes, muscular dudes. There are only two, a little bit more, but they're like still athletic people. Poncho and Hawkins, you know, these are the smallest dudes, but they're still athletic because they crawl. You know, they're the guys who are not heavy and crawl up, you know, like a monkey with a grappling hook and crawl up through the grappling hook. It's just a great movie. You're from the beginning that this movie starts. It has this crazy good soundtrack too. From the beginning, you are invested in this movie till the beginning towards the end. You're invested, and the first half, or the first, let's say the first part, you've got three parts. Let's say three parts. The first part is them finding everything. You know, the killed body, the bodies hanging down. You know, and then and then Captain Jim Harper. It was Harper. He said, "Oh, I knew Harper. He wouldn't get in a trap, Harper." He said, "Yeah, that's what he said to Dylan." And apparently, Dylan, for just another fact, is that Dylan first had Captain Jim Harper and his team of Green Berets go to the jungle, but they were trapped by the Predator, and because Billy, being the scout, finds ammo, and he says it doesn't make sense. They were shooting at everywhere because the Predator used the trees. He didn't use the ground. There were no tracks, he said, and so it's all tension is already building there. And then the gorilla scene is action part. Then the second part is basically the tense part where they're getting hunted and they're trying to defend themselves, but they can't because the predator is just clever and uses the jungle as his own weapon, and it's so cool. And then there's the last part, of course, Schwarzenegger also using the jungle against him, but with the clay. So it's just a good movie. Watch this movie, please give me a like. That I would appreciate that, and see you next time. Bye. Get me away out of this hole.